take a picture of greatness, relate this to a Rembrandt. I know it all, so listen close, even if I rent. I'm here once a week, rain, sleet, or snow, to tell all the facts that you need to know. So listen.
Always a big find for myself, man. I just can never stop finding myself. Cause I don't want to cough in the mic or do anything like that. So I'm trying to be conscious yet courteous at the same time. And I always freaking find myself. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, know-it-all nation, thanks for tapping in for a Wednesday afternoon episode of Tate's Take. I'm here to give you my take today about just a couple of things, couple of players, couple old heads, much like myself, we're going to talk about briefly. But, you know, for a minute, we'll give some people time to jump in the live chat here. But what's good, everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? The first Wednesday after the end of the 2025 football season. The Super Bowl, obviously, was Sunday, Super Bowl 60. A lot of stuff going on after that game. The Seahawks are the champions. Kenneth Walker, the second MVP of the game. Sam Darnold had a decent season, played for a great defense, played with a great defense that I believe kind of carried him. But he did have a big game in the NFC Championship game when needed. So we got him there. But a lot of talk going around. Some of you think he's a top 10 quarterback. Don't think so. Sam Darnold, still Sam Darnold. But, you know, they won the game. They dominated the game defensively. He threw one touchdown pass. I mean, just a great game plan, great team, Seattle. I believe Pittsburgh Steelers, we played both them. Was it in back-to-back weeks early in the season? We know what happened in the game against Seattle. It was a home game. We lost. Was a close game for much of the early first half, and they pulled away in the second half. And Caleb Johnson's what do you call it? We'll call it a mistake. It was a botch up. It was a screw up. It was an F up, right? Where he let the kickoff go into the end zone after he appeared to have touched it. Free touchdown on the board. Game became out of reach then. But that was a loss. Then we beat the Patriots the next week or the week after that. But kind of in the same window of games there. So, you know, Steelers played both teams that were in the Super Bowl competitively. We'll see what happens going into this season. One of the things going into this season we'll talk about is the plans for Aaron Rodgers and Cam Heyward. And maybe that's the wrong order. Maybe we'll say Cam Heyward first. He's the long-time career one-helmet guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Aaron Rodgers was a guy that we brought in, all-time great quarterback, probably first ballot Hall of Famer that we brought in last year. And that's one of the questions, too. What's he going to do this year? And we'll talk about that in just a second. But, yeah, you know, Pittsburgh kind of ingratiated him, welcomed him with open arms. I was skeptical of Aaron Rodgers early on last year. I was one of the guys that really didn't want him. It got to a point where we waited so long. I'm like, well, he's the best option out there, right? And I think he had a good season. I made mention earlier this week, talking to Shannon Monday night, filling in for Daniel on the Hangover on Steel Curtain Network, that Aaron Rodgers had a better season than Sam Darnold. I believe Sam Darnold threw 23 touchdown passes and 13 or 14 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers threw 24 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And he did that in 1.5 less games. And he didn't have Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's the NFL's best receiver. But let's shout out some of the folks in the live chat, and I'll get into my thoughts on Cam Heyward and Aaron Rodgers real quick, and we'll go ahead and get out of here. We do have a few more shows today. I'm a busy man on Wednesdays around Steel Curtain Network and Know It All Nation. Tap into all those different spots every day, especially tonight. Right now, obviously, we're doing Tate's Take, talking about the retirement plan for the old guys. Later on this evening, starting at 7:15, We have Smash the Gas. That's with myself, Big G, and Curb. Big G said something in our chat earlier, and I decided just to make a show topic out of it. He said, Yins are ill, and your illogicalness about QB1 and who should be QB1. So we're going to talk about some of that kind of stuff tonight. Let Big G and Curb from the back seat, the child seat back there. Let Curb and Big G just go at it, talk about what they want to talk about. I'm really just there to moderate and facilitate. We'll see what that looks like. Then directly following that, myself and the triple OG, Big Shannon. Well, not Big Shannon, Big G is not with us, but triple OG Shannon. We're going to be talking about on Pump Your Brakes, disrespect or about right. ESPN immediately released their NFL power rank, way too early power rankings for 2026. Had the Steelers ranked at number 21 on the outside looking at the top 20. The mere fact they didn't make the playoffs last year, 7 teams in each conference make the playoffs, 14 total teams, would imply the Steelers were a top 14 team last year. The Steelers haven't had a losing season since 2002. I guess this is the year they're predicting that, but myself and Shannon will talk about that. We'll go over the power rankings, what ESPN has put out there, talk about the Steelers' place, what we think about that, if it was disrespect or not, tap into that. Then after that, with my coast-to-coast homie, the homie Devin in the building. We'll just talk about some of the same stuff, Steeler-related stuff, take any questions that come in regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers and stuff. So we'll definitely talk about. And we'll just go from there. So be sure to tap in this evening for all those shows too. Shout out some of the folks in the live chat real quick. We got Joshua Armstead in the building. Thanks for tapping in. Tommy Strings. We got Afton in the building. Shout out to my homie KnoItAllz fam, Afton in the building. Thanks for tapping in. You're right. You're definitely right, Josh. I got the big fine off the rip. No doubt, no doubt. Mean Green in the building, shouting out Afton. No love for me, but we appreciate you tapping in, man. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks. Who else in the building? I said Mean Green. Some of you guys. My boy, 901, Bartlett, Tennessee. My boy, Reg Rivers in the house. Tim Lyons in the building. Shout out to the homie Tim. Eric Williams, what up, fam? Thanks for tapping in. Jack Bauer, 24, in the building. Thanks for tapping in, Jack. We certainly appreciate you. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the topic. Let me pull that down. But that is tonight. Check that out this evening on the KnoItAllz channel. The Pump Your Brakes will be both on the KnoItAllz channel and the Steel Curtain Network. So tap in either places, both places. Give a like, subscribe to all of it. Certainly appreciate you. Cam Heyward Aaron Rodgers. The old guys, right? A lot of speculation during the week between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl. Stuff talked about Super Bowl media row. Cam Heyward's there. Haven't heard from Aaron Rodgers. And a lot of the times with Aaron Rodgers, that's part of it. Like we don't hear from him. We don't hear directly from him. But he's such a figure. He's such a an elite figure in NFL standards, right? Media's always question what he has going on, who's he married to, what he's doing, is he coming back, is he not coming back, is he Askawaska, whatever it's called, in the cage? What's going on with Aaron Rodgers? We'll visit Aaron Rodgers first. Is Aaron Rodgers going to retire? I don't think Aaron Rodgers is retiring. I don't even see that being in the plan. The Steelers have openly stated they want him back. They didn't bring Mike McCarthy and his coach solely to bring him back, but that can only help the situation. Mike McCarthy reassembled a lot of the old band to play again together from back in his Green Bay days, which is also the Aaron Rodgers days. So we got some of that going You know, a lot of familiarity with a lot of those coaches and schemes and stuff like that. Aaron Rodgers had a bad playoff game. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to leave on a bad playoff game. Remember, another old guy played for the Patriots. His last game in New England, I believe Tom Brady threw a pick 6 against the Tennessee Titans. We thought, would that be the image of Tom Brady's last throw in New England? And not that Aaron Rodgers has the storied career in Pittsburgh like he would if he was in Green Bay. But he gets the opportunity to come back with an old Green Bay coaching staff to a team that wants him back, that appreciates his leadership and everything along those lines. Familiarity with the offense again. Steelers have to invest in more weapons. I believe that's going to happen. The Steelers said Aaron can take as long as he wants. I don't believe that. I believe that's just front office talking, Mr. Rooney speaking, just talking, trying to potentially maybe appease the Aaron. Don't want to put a lot of pressure on him or anything like that. But yeah, so I look for, it's unspoken, it's not said, but I look for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision between the end of the combine and the start of free agency. We'll know officially what he's going to do. I don't think it draws out like it did last year. Steelers have to know to be able to make moves, right? Do we sign a free agent quarterback? Do we draft a quarterback? Do we make the mistake of taking Ty Simpson at number 1? Please don't do that, Omar Khan, Steeler organization. I think that's a reach along the same lines of a Kenny Pickett reach. Ty Simpson, I believe, only played like 15 games on a college football level, at least a competitive level where like he played at Alabama in the SEC. Just not enough there. I mean, even when you drafted Kenny Pickett played like all 4, maybe 5 years, I believe, at Pitt. Started playing in his freshman year. So, yeah, I just don't want to go down the Ty Simpson road. Much rather see, no matter who's the quarterback, the Steelers bring in a weapon, bring in a really good explosive weapon on the outside, a wide receiver, be it, and who knows they can get these guys. I think they need to be willing to trade up to get a wide receiver. But those guys could be Cardinal Tate, Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson. I really like Tyson a lot. Just one of those 3 guys if you trade up. If not, we're looking at a guy like Denzel Boston in the first round. If you're talking about just sitting put, waiting to 21 to pick. But to me, unless 5 receivers go before pick 21, right? Then maybe you're looking at best available on the board. You may look at a defensive lineman. You might look at a corner. I mean, there are other places the Steelers need to go to. But first and absolute foremost, they need to address the wide receiver position, something that hasn't been addressed in the first round in a long time. I mean, was Santonio Holmes the last first round wide receiver? I'm trying to think. We hit after Santonio on a lot of day 2, day 3 picks, but it's time to make the huge investment, especially if Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Need to get that guy some weapons. I do like Mike McCarthy's system is tight end friendly, and Aaron Rodgers has experience in it. So, you know, I think it can't hurt if Aaron Rodgers come back and Will Howard develops for another year behind Aaron Rodgers, and you use a first-round pick next year to go after a guy at quarterback and bring that guy in and let he wouldn't compete with Will Howard, but maybe Will Howard would get to start initially over a new guy in 2027 just because we don't see the new guy is ready. But, yeah, the investment in quarterback to me is put off till 2027 unless you know, you can get Fernando Mendoza in the first round. And if you take a later round day 2 pick at quarterback, I'm not against – I don't like Nussmeier as much as I like Cade Klubnik, but I'd be okay with a 3rd round, 4th round pick on a developmental quarterback there. I'd be down with a developmental quarterback in free agency. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, I think you go after somebody like Malik Willis. Not really impressed with Mac Jones. Mac Jones would be, to me, he's a bridge. We know what Mac Jones is from when he was in New England. Everybody goes to Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and, Kevin O'Connell and these different quarterback gurus and get better. So I believe Mac Jones did that, but I don't think he's a guy, right? If that's the situation, I go ahead and gamble on the upside of a Malik Willis. I like what that looks like. I don't hate if I say this, Steeler Nation, but depending on the capital you have to trade away and the amount of contract that Arizona would take, I'd be willing to give Kyler Murray a 2-year option, a two-year audition to see what that looks like, along with drafting a quarterback, obviously, in 2027, in case that second year it didn't work. Now you already got your guy ready to put in for Kyler Murray if he's messing up in 2027, and you go from there. But still want to remain competitive, want to play meaningful games now. And I think you do that by bringing Aaron Rodgers back or bringing in a guy with some experience. I mean, keep in mind, Will Howard, and we're going to talk about this tonight. I'm going to let Big G run with it. But we talk about, a guy, Will Howard, though I believe in him, though you can look over my shoulder and know I'm a Buckeye fan. He won a national championship for the Ohio State Buckeyes. He's unproven. No reps last year in the preseason games. No reps in any games this year. So he's coming in, and there's the big unknown, and you can't rely on the unknown. So you got to bring a quarterback in. Mean Green says, please take not Kyler Murray. Yeah, I was saying last year, though, please not Sam Darnold. I mean, he's 27, probably about the same age as Sam Darnold, around there. I mean, sometimes these guys just need to change the scenery, see what that looks like. I'm sure somebody was saying, please no Baker Mayfield at one time. Please no Daniel Jones, who played really well last year for the Colts. I mean, we're not talking about, a big investment. That's why I said, depending on the draft capital, depending on if how much of the money Arizona's going to pick up, I could see what that looks like. I'd be willing to see what it looks like. And again, I said with the full intention of drafting a quarterback in 2027, one of the many quarterbacks that'll be available, whether it's Arch Manning, whether it's Lenore Sellers, whether it's Julian Sayin, Will Levis, who's going to LSU, who I expect the new coach at LSU, just coach Tiffin, to go ahead and get him really situated. But yeah, so quarterback has to be the key. The first domino to fall, as far as the quarterback position of the Pittsburgh Steelers, is Aaron Rodgers going to retire? Or is he going to come back? The only viable other option I see for Aaron Rodgers, if he wants to come back, is to go to Minnesota and play. He comes to Pittsburgh, he's the automatic starter. He goes to Minnesota. You think he'd be the starter, but he still has a first-round pick there who has a year experience and 2 years in the league and the system, at least being witness and student to the system, in J.J. McCarthy, who I don't think they'll give up on. They know next year will be Aaron Rodgers last year, but I see that as his only other option. Yeah, you absolutely right, Reg. Sam Levitt. Yeah, I said Will, the guy that Tennessee drafted a few years ago from Kentucky. But yeah, so Murray is a retread. The Steelers need to stop getting retreads. He's a talented retreads. First overall, I'm not disputing that, but so was Baker Mayfield, number 1 pick, Sam Darnold, number 3 pick. I mean, some of these retreads hit new systems. Look at the direction Justin Fields was going in last year when he played for us before, I believe, Coach Tomlin made the mistake of going to Russell Wilson, because we know Coach Tomlin, and you know how I feel about Coach Tomlin, loved his veterans, put that guy in. Justin Fields went to the Jets because of that, and the Jets were a quarterback goes to die. Look how Sam Darnold played when he played for the Jets. Look how Baker Mayfield played when he played for the Browns. I think the Steelers or an organization, Mike McCarthy, if he's a quarterback guru, I think he can get good stuff potentially out of Kyler Murray. Now, do I think it's going to happen? No, I'm just giving you a list of scenarios of how I see it if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back. So, that's just something to think about. So I like seeing Aaron Rodgers back. I don't think he's retiring. If I was going on a percentage basis of 100%, I'd say 70% Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers next year. That's what I believe. I think he'll be back leading the team and must address the wide receiver position. Pick up a guy in free agency, pay him, pay him a half a bag, not a full bag, not the big bag. Give him Give him a backpack. He can't get that full duffel bag. He can get a little backpack, though. Give him a backpack of bread. But, yeah, so I believe Aaron Rodgers is back. I'm handicapping that to 70% that Aaron Rodgers is back. Let's talk about Cam Heyward now. Cam Heyward, obviously, last game was the playoff game against the Texans. I believe he was really affected with Mike Tomlin stepping down. I don't think he expected that. I think he needs to sort some things out. He was doing the media tour, Super Bowl media row last week in Santa Clara, California. I was on with a couple different interviews and stuff like that. And he kind of indicated like it depends if the Steelers want him back, right? And what Cam is saying there, Cam had an all-pro year again, back-to-back. I'm old enough to remember just a year and a half ago, even last year in Latrobe, Steeler fans was letting Cam have it. See, that just goes to show how much we really don't know. We love to talk. I'm a Yens too. I love to talk too. But some of y'all be talking completely reckless. Cam Heyward, because he won a little bump in play. If you make all pro, you playing like a top 5 defensive lineman in the league. So why wouldn't he want to bump? If you at work and you're doing better than anybody in your organization, you want to bump, you want to get paid. But because we see us professional athletes, NFL players, we kind of take a position like, oh, they already make enough money. But you only make enough money if you're making what the market dictates in whatever your profession is. Cam Heyward, for the production he's putting out there the past 3 years, is underpaid because he's an old guy. And that's the only reason why he's underpaid, because every year you're like, is he going to do it again this year? So you're hesitant to pay him because you don't know when it's going to fall off, right? So I think Cam Heyward has been out here saying if the Steelers want me back, that's saying the Steelers want to give me a bump in pay. I think he wants to play. I think he's okay with playing for a veteran coach. Now, if I'd have been one of the new coaches like we wanted as Steeler fans, and we look at Mike McDonald, Seattle just won in his second year, won the Super Bowl, went 10-7 the first year, but that was after Pete Carroll went 9-8. Seattle decided to rip the Band-Aid off and go anew, got rid of Pete Carroll, their longtime coach, Super Bowl winner, probably the best coach in Seattle's organization history. Chuck Knox was up there. Chuck Knox never won a Super Bowl or went to another Super Bowl. So Pete Carroll is definitely the all-time greatest coach. You can't just say all-time greatest coach about Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh's organizational history. I mean, there's only three. For one, there's only 3 of them the last 55, 56 years. 2, Chuck Noll got 4 Super Bowls and ruled over a dynasty during his time. 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. So no Steeler coach, I believe, can ever match that. And I put Mike Tomlin and Bill Cowher on equal footing. Chuck Noll definitely 1A, and Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin are tied at 1B as far as Steeler coaches go. But the Steelers decided it was time to take off the Band-Aid. But instead of new voice, new coach, but instead of going with young blood, though, they went with another old head. And I think that matchup of old heads with, like I said already, Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy, and on defense, Cam Heyward is going to be the linchpin to Steeler culture and a new Steeler organization. I'm hearing stuff about Patrick Queen's contract may be restructured. I believe they bring Jalen Ramsey back, whether that's a restructure or not. They need to draft safety. He needs to play just solely big nickel, be a chess piece on the field. He don't need to be back in free safety or outside corner. He needs to be a chess piece in that defense. I'm anxious to see and excited to see what Patrick Graham is going to do with this defense. I really do want to see that. And Cam Heyward, like I said, his code talk is for, if Steelers want me back, give me a bump in pay. He even put up a post on the social media of a book closing recently, a couple of days ago. Like, is the book closed? And you can interpret that any kind of way, right? A lot of different ways. After the Super Bowls, the book closed to the 2025 season. Could be that. It was a book closed to his seasons. The book closed to his career in Pittsburgh. It's a book closed to his career in general. What did I miss some, Afton? What's great news? Oh, okay. Afton said it is confirmed. Cam is staying. Thanks, Afton. That is great news. I'm glad to have Cam stay. Like I said, he's a linchpin to the past, to the history, to the culture. And I really do think that that's a big grab. And to know about it, if it's true, what's being reported here, that I think that is a good thing. So we can stop talking about Cam now. I mean, Cam is gonna be back. Shout out Steeler Nation. What Reg saying, getting rid of Heyward, Ramsey, Jonnu, and Queen creates a lot of cap space with the. No, I don't disagree. Jonnu's definitely going. Bye-bye, Jonnu. Jalen Ramsey, it don't create as much cap space as you might think. He's owed some money. Patrick Queen, you can save a lot of money, but Patrick Queen is 26 years old, and linebackers usually hit their prime around 27, 28. Has he been a production disappointment for the money he was making the past 2 years? I'd agree, but he's a young player. We know he's a talented player. And I think maybe Patrick Graham in his scheme, because he builds his scheme around his players, not trying to make players fit into a scheme. So I might see what he can do with all the pieces. Maybe you have Patrick Quinn in the middle, and you play a lot more Nick Herbig with A-gap blitzes coming in, playing some off-ball role too, in also rotating with Highsmith and TJ to keep those guys fresh. We got Jack Sawyer. I like our edge room. I mean, Steelers not paying a quarterback big money. I think the Steelers probably should go ahead and fork over money. To me, the must-keeps of the current roster are Joey Porter Jr., 1. I'd say Herbig, 2, because that's a corner edge rusher, big money positions. So you drafted them. You want to go ahead and invest in those guys. You won't get them at a big discount, but you get them a hometown discount, right? So go ahead and pay those guys their second contract. I think Darnell Washington also, you pay him. And then I'd say Keanu Benton. I mean, I think he's been playing out of position. I don't think you play him at nose tackle, but he's a really good player in the rotation if he's playing the 3 or the 5 technique in the 3-4 defense. And again, I'm counting on Patrick Graham to be able to do the things he needs to do that's going to get the most out of these players and put them in the best positions to succeed. We know Terrell Austin wasn't always doing that. And de facto in that is Mike Tomlin also, because he allowed Terrell Austin to do that. And just like on offense with Arthur Smith, there's no way Jonnu Smith should have played the most tight end snaps last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no way Herbig should only play 16, 18 snaps in the game. He's a true difference maker. So I'm really excited to see what Patrick Graham is going to do with this defense and the pieces that are there. I think you need to draft a young safety, a free safety with speed and range back there. That hopefully Deshaun Elliott is back healthy. I think he will be, because there was some talk about he could have played if they went further in the playoffs. So, and I think he's the kind of guy that's just a workout maniac. I think he's just getting ready. So I like him coming back. And you draft a young safety, and then you fill it in from there. I mean, like I said, the Patriots had 2 starting rookie safeties in their secondary this year after the for her first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. Because remember, we got Peppers and Duggars. Those guys were starters. They got rid of those guys. What we do, we pick up the old guys. And I think that's been part of the flaw of the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency plans. Omar Khan, and I believe Mike Tomlin had a lot to do with this. So Mike Tomlin likes players that he saw coming out of the draft, big names, big games, stuff like that. But now they're old guys. We did it with Patrick Peterson. We did this year with Darius Slay, Keanu Neal when he was in Pittsburgh. We've done it. We've done it before, and I think Omar Khan, like, you give guys that second contract. We're not looking for old veteran guys. We got enough of those guys. Let's build this thing around youth and speed, and let's count on our additions to the coaching staff. Let's count on our coaching staff to develop and go from there. But, man, Aaron Rodgers, I think, is back. It's being reported on Tate's Take in here that Cam Heyward will be back. I'm excited about that already. So without any further ado, I'm not going to keep you guys much longer. We reached the half-hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Again, just remind you real quick, tonight's show, Smash the Gas, myself, Big G, and the homie Curb in the building, riding in the car, coming down your block. Check us out. After that, man, I get Big G and Curb out of there, swing around, pick up down to West Virginia, down to the Holler, pick up the homie Trip OG Shannon. We're going to talk about the ESPN way too early power rankings. The Steelers ranked 21 going into the season. We're going to talk about that. Then after that, Steelers Coast to Coast, myself and Devin. Check us out tonight. That's at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, probably for about 45 minutes. So, get your late night Steeler talk, say whatever you want to say. On this show, it's Q&A. We really encourage and welcome chat participation. So tap in with us. A lot of you guys seem to like Dev, and we'll be going tonight. So, yeah, tap in for all that. And thanks everybody that tapped in for tapping in. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Thanks, Afton. Thanks for tapping in, Afton. Definitely appreciate it. What Tommy said, I thought Peppers would be better grab for us than he was. We don't know that he wasn't, though, because he didn't play. And that's Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin. I don't know. I mean, he was always going to be better than Thornhill, right? I like Duggar because but these are guys we like coming out of college. Now Duggar you had to do, right? I mean, you picked these guys up off a scrap heap, but I think they were more picked up based off their name. They're a little longer in the tooth, not as athletic as they once was. So, we'll see. I was why I say go young, defensively secondary, get speed out there. I'd like to see him keep Asante Samuels. I'd offer him a contract first over James Pierre. Though I like James Pierre, but I offer Asante first. Damn, Tate already. Well, what's this getting info? Hey, man, I'm trying to keep it short, man. I know some people when they lunch break and stuff like that. But that's why I say tap in everything tonight, man. We won't get in. I still got 2 hours, 45 to 3 hours worth of Steelers talk left for me today on Wednesday. So be sure to tap in, man. Thanks, Tommy. Certainly appreciate you, bro. Salute you. Salute everybody out there tapped in. Afton, the homie, we love you. Afton, stop falling for the diabolicalness in our chat with G and Curb. Don't let them pull you in all that stuff. But nah, shout out. Love you guys. Steeler Nation, Know It All Nation. Certainly appreciate you guys. And with that being said, we out. Big peace.
Mamba out.
Y'all come back now. Here.